good question from Milan, I have to say, because that's not something you think about when I was a player. I didn't really think about what does Sir Alex do before the game or the other managers, but it's the worst time. It's the worst time out because you've done all your preparation, you're ready to, you want the game to get going, and players go out and prepare. They're going out warming up, but I'm not usually there at the warm-ups. I just go back to my office and sit there and try to get the time to go. Sometimes there's some games on telly that I can watch, but most of the time is just using some time to think, what do I need to do, thinking about if something happens, if that player gets injured, if something happens in the game. So it's just preparation for the game, really. Nothing that I have to go through, no. I have to say, Noah, that it'll be Italian food. I should have been born in Italy. I love pasta, love the Italian cuisine, so I'll say Italian food, yeah. I hope Eva has not had this injury herself and that I don't give her the advice, but if I have to give advice to young injured players, take your time, be patient. You've got plenty of time to get back to playing football. You have so many years ahead of you, and to take another week or a month extra in your recovery work is more important than rushing to get back, because you might have after effects, you might get a setback. I was lucky enough that I never really had big injuries until I was 30, but I was a stage then when I was patient and I had done a lot in my career. So I felt, no, I'll take the time what it needs. But that's not easy. Maybe if you're 10, 15, 16, 17, that you desperately want to prove yourself. But take your time, listen to the advice, make sure you get physios or medical staff that you trust, and follow their program to the point. Because no shortcuts, no cutting corners, just follow the program. Oh, another good question, Brandt. I have to say, I've been very pleased with the whole team, that we have improved. Individuals that stand out. It's so hard to say. I think, of course, seeing the improvement of Luke Shaw is great for us all. We know what he's capable of. Bruno to continue his improvement. That is, he came to the club, made such an impact. Marcus just growing as a player and a person. Scott McTominay scoring goals. I can go through every single one. Difficult question for a manager to put me on the spot like this, but good question. And I've been delighted with everyone's approach and attitude. So they improve in different time scales. Some improve very quickly and then stay there. Some steadily, and I think we've steadily improved, every one of us. Thanks, Emil, for that question. It's there's so many things. It depends on if it's the mentality, the attitude, is it the technical attributes. I'd like to think that Mason is the one who reminds me about myself the most as a finisher, goal scorer. So we should have had a competition, me and him, to see who's the most accurate finisher. Good question, Aman. I'm not in the dressing room too often or too much, so I can't really say who is the most practical joker or who gives out the funniest jokes. But we've got a good dressing room and a good set of lads. Sometimes, you see players laugh and joke and dance on Instagram. So there's a good mood in the camp, and I'd say just they're all in different stages there. And maybe the most confident one is probably Paul Pogba and Eric Bailly. They're quite lively in and around the dressing room. There's always. They're probably funnier when the manager is not there, because I try to be serious. Oh, Mark, every day of the week you'd like to be young, play football, no matter what. That's the best time of your life. But time ticks for everyone, the clock ticks, so I'm really happy with being the manager as well. But I think everyone wants to be young and fresh and healthy and be able to score goals for Man United. But I've got to say I'm really proud of being in the seat and seeing these boys improving and trying to win trophies for us. Adam, great question. There's been a few players that I've played with that I'd love to have in our team, of course. I'd love the player Roy Keane. I'm not sure if I could manage him though. I'd sign him every day of the week though. Roy he was so influential. But then again, you know, we played with Cristiano and he's been the best player in the world along with Messi for the last 10-15 years. So Cristiano you'd take him in your team. No, for sure. Very good question, George. It seems like a real Man United fan that's inquisitive and wants to know more about us. For me, it's the core value is to be a good person and to be hungry to learn, be humble and hardworking, but also be able to express your talent. You know, we want to play fast, attacking football with players who enjoy football, not afraid of anything, show the courage to go and showcase that skill that so many of our fans pay to come and watch every Saturday or Wednesday. So be positive, show your skills, but always work hard. Hi Sharon, good question. It takes me back a few years this. I would probably have, if I have to pick myself, of course I'll score the goals. I need some, so I don't really have to take too many of the strikers. I'd like to have Bex, Scholesy, Giggsy. So there we are, 1, 2, 3. Me 4. We need a keeper as well, so that's maybe too many attacking players. So Yapstam defensive. He's a defense alone, and probably goalkeeper would be Edwin van der Sar with his ball skills. So Edwin, Jaap, me up front, Bex on the right, and Giggsy on the left, like a 1-2-1 formation. But that's a bit unfair on Scholesy and Roy Keane and all the other good players and Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney. So, but that's probably the team I'd pick. No, I think Victor, that it's more the name in England. In Norway, I didn't really have that. There was other nicknames for me there, so it was here. And now when I'm getting closer to 50, I don't mind that. I'd like to stay as young for as long as possible. So, but when I was playing, I didn't mind because I know deep down that means I've made an impact and people were a little bit afraid of me. Hi Kuna. Obviously, I've got kids as well, so get them ready for school run. At the moment, actually, Elia, he's back home in Norway, so I don't get that routine. But you drive straight to the training ground. We report here with the coaches. We have a little discussion before about training session. What about the training yesterday? Who's fit? Who we can use for training? What we're gonna do? Obviously, we have a good canteen here, so I have some breakfast. Then when we've all prepared and everything is ready, the players start coming in half an hour, 45 minutes before the first meeting. You go and speak to a few of them. Then we have a meeting maybe before the training session. Then the training session is, we debrief that one after, what was good, what was not so good, have lunch. And then we sit for a few hours discussing the next team we're playing against and start to find a team that we're going to go for. So every day is about improving the players and improving the team. Good question, Manny. That is a very long answer. It deserves a long answer because all positions in football has have changed. Obviously the keeper's position have changed a lot, I feel. Many teams we use more and more build up from the back, and the keeper has to have good distribution, good tactical knowledge, good and along with the two centre backs that you want to play out with, because you want to draw the pressure on you. As you said, the centre forward, that changes a lot. Used to be more of a traditional number 9, big, strong. More teams used to play maybe 4-4-2 with 2 strikers. Now many teams play with 1 striker and a number 10. So but probably the keeper, of course, has changed the most. But I'd say I hope that we get the good old traditional number 9 back. I was a centre forward, and I like a focal point that you play through. So that's the centre forward's positions changed very much. So, but also the demands on everyone with the ball. Tactically, and technically, every player has to be spot on now in today's modern football. Long question, probably didn't get the answer you wanted, because I didn't say one particular position, but they've all evolved so much. Hi Yannick, it's Bruno has the attributes of many of my teammates, I feel. Part of it is Juan Sebastian Veron, part of it is Paul Scholes, part of it is Eric Cantona. So those 3 players, I would say he's got attributes of all of them, and he's a leader, winner. So yeah, I'll say those 3 then. Hi Olan, good one. Good question again. I like to work with people. I like to learn about their personalities, what kind of human being they are, and then of course in that you find out what triggers them. Are you strong? Do you give them tough love? Do you give them an arm around the shoulder? I always think that players learn more from doing and playing, so of course I'd like to give them opportunities. But then once in a while, as you allude here in the question, that you have to leave them out, maybe to freshen up their legs and get the fitness back, but also maybe to take them away from the pressure. They can sit back and think about it themselves, because I cannot help them if they can't help themselves. So they need to find the solutions. So it's impossible to spoon feed the players. They have to have that drive themselves. So the times we leave them out, that's probably I think we're all the same, managers and coaches. That's a signal of we need more from you, or we want you to take a little step back and reflect on what you're doing at the moment and come back stronger and better. Nick, yeah, good question. For me, it was a quick transition from being a player to a coach. I got injured, told the manager I need an operation, and he said, "Oh, why don't you come and coach the forwards in the first team?" So it was a quick transition for me. He gave me 2 or 3 weeks to get my head around it, my new role, and then I got into trying to improve the players, and I tried to use all my experience, of course, from how I was thinking as a player when trying to improve the players. Then you go more into management, which requires a different skill set. You don't go out and coach every single one every day. So now you're trying to learn the triggers to improve everyone, and so it's a very good question, and it deserves a bigger and a longer answer. So but what I learned from Sir Alex as well, I try to bring with me and pass on to my players. No problem at all, because I know when we play well, I know when we play badly, I know if I've done the preparation that I should have done. I probably So the criticism doesn't affect me at all. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. It's bad performances, and not so much bad results, but bad performances is what affects me the most, because it makes us as a coaching staff, managing group, makes us sit back and think, how can we improve the team more? Because we all work every single day to improve the team, and we see the improvement, but once in a while when we get a disappointment, you have to, do we change what we're doing, or do we just believe in what we're doing? So the criticism is no problem. I don't care about that. We know ourselves when we've done well or bad. Rahul, good question again, and of course being predominantly English speaking myself, or Norwegian, so I speak Norwegian to Victor, for example, Norwegian Swedish, that's the same, so that's not a problem. I think my English is good enough. Then we have Martin, who speaks Portuguese, who's married to a Brazilian girl, so he speaks Portuguese. We have French players that we can communicate with easily, because most of them speak English anyway. So I feel that we have a common language and that we understand each other. But sometimes, you need to go through maybe Martin then to speak to Edinson, and sometimes maybe Fred and Alex, if you really want to get your point across in their mother tongue. And Martin's been a very good help in that respect. And I've picked up a little bit of Spanish here and there, so I think we can understand each other. Ben, nicknames. I could talk about McTominay or James or Tuanzebe or Matic. For me, I like to speak to them as who they are. They're not a surname. For me, it's important that we find an easier way to communicate. And I've had coaches myself that they've said your surname, it feels like so distant. Yeah, you need a distance, but you still feel that we're in this together. And you treat them like your kids, really, and you want the best for them. So when I say Scotty, everyone knows it's Scott, DJ. I just use whatever the other lads use, really. I don't have a special nickname for any one of them. Who would have a nickname that players or other fans wouldn't know about? I think the fans create their own nicknames on players, and maybe that goes along into the playing group. So I can't really see that there's any unknown nicknames. No, you tell me differently, because I don't read other too much in the social media. But from what I see, it's Shorey, like on Luke. That's probably well known, I would think. So everyone like to have their nickname, but some have an easy name too. So David, for example, that's a very nice, simple name. And Ole, when I played, that was a simple name. So, but we're good at giving nicknames in England, I have to say.